What's poppin', everyone? Welcome back to the Shuffle Squad. Zach Lesage here. I'm joined by my pal KingDreC1out. Today we're going to be going over Charizard EX, the ultimate guide, and I was thinking of players who have kind of been grinding it out there with Zard. Dre is one of the Zard Day 1 homies who's been playing it for a few tournaments now, seeing a lot of success. So we're going to be looking over a deck list, jumping into gameplay, going over strategy and everything. So all that sounds like a huge dub to me. Give this video a like, smash that subscribe button, and let us know in the comments if you like Zard, what your Zard list looks like, or just give us some words of encouragement, because at the end of the day, it all boosts the YouTube algorithm. So Dre, I'll let you kind of take the floor here. Let's go over Zard.
Yeah, definitely. So I mean, at this list, it's a pretty straightforward Unfair Stamp build. You have your 3 Manders, Meleon, 2 Zard is the whole attacking line of the deck. Our main engine is the Pidgeot engine, so we have the 202 line of that. We don't need that mid stage, just to conserve deck space. We're a quad rare candy build, so we're trying to get those guys up and running. Dusknoir line, the 211, I think is correct right now. A lot of people are getting a little greedy, going 111, but I think prizing that skull and not having a heavy ball on the list like we don't have in this one, it can, if you're only running one Duskull, you're kind of cooking yourself out of a lot of matchups. I have seen the Rotom getting put to 2 counts in lieu of the Cleffa, which I don't agree with. So I actually like the inclusion of 1 Rotom, 1 Cleffa to give us an option, just because the turbo decks have made their way back. So having a single prizer that we can throw into the active to force them to take, that's not a Mander or a Pidgey, is pretty good. Another thing is the Lumineon V, just another out for our Force Seal starting to get used, but I mean, it also grabs our supporters, and our deck is a very heavy Arven build. So, you know, we run 4 count of those. We want to grab an item that's a Buddy Poffin to get set up, a Rare Candy to get our evolutions done, and then a Force Seal Stone can usually complete any combo that we want to get done. We have our come from behind card, Fezandipiti EX, lets us draw 3 after a KO is taken, so it can help us draw out of like some of that disruption. And then our big closer is a single prizer, is our Radiant Charizard. Really love the Radiant Charizard in a lot of matchups, especially right now with like things like Gholdengo getting popular. It's a very powerful way to one-shot that, because it hits for weakness and it kind of forces them into an awkward board state. And Radiant Charizard is probably like a better attacker to actually use mid-game. I'm a big fan of like getting a manual attachment onto it and then using like Infernal Rain to load a second one on there, just to preemptively get it ready to attack a turn earlier into the Gholdengos. So really strong card. Like I mentioned before, the turbo decks being back is kind of why I'm a fan of the Unfair Stamp as the A-spec of choice right now. I was a big fan of the Hero's Cape, and you know, I still think it's a pretty good one, but the way the format has shifted right now, punishing turbo decks that like try to take that first KO really quick, if they're not going to put down a Fezandipiti on their turn 1 most likely, because that's just really bad for them. You can really punish that. Hit them with an Unfair Stamp, get your Candy Zard, take out their main attacker, and then, you know, good luck from there trying to get set up.
Yeah, for me, like, I think Zard is just one of the best decks in the format. I think it's proven itself. We just saw at Stuttgart Regionals how it made finals. Both finalist decks were Charizard, multiple other top finishes when it comes to the deck. If anyone's kind of tuning in for Charizard for the first time, first and foremost, the list is going to be available in the description, and the list is going to be available in the pinned comment section, so stay tuned for all that. Copy and paste right into live. And if you need any of the cards for your deck on live, you can check out PTCG O Store, plug in code TSS5 to save 5%. There's also K-Fabe cards if you're trying to get any of these cards in real life. We get all of our cards from K-Fabe, so shout out to them. Kind of, I know Dre went a lot in depth. Basic Charizard strategy, Rare Candy Charizard. Really, Charizard, its key points are its 330 HP, being able to self-accelerate energies to itself, and being able to scale your damage as the game goes on. So there's a lot of really cool things going on with this deck. Pidgeot being that kind of draw, kind of support, consistency support. This list is more or less the same 58 card core that everyone's been playing. I think the only big difference here is that Manaphy is being included in the deck. I think there's a lot of Kyurem and Regidrago decks. I think there's a lot of Radiant Greninja and Palkia V-Star techs in general. So I like having access to the Manaphy in the deck. I think a lot of other lists, if they're cutting Manaphy, they're cutting it for a 4th Nest Ball or a canceling Cologne. So this is what we got going on for the deck list. Again, like I said, in the pinned comment section or the description, we're going to be jumping over some gameplay. Dre and I are going to be going through a couple games on PTCG Live to kind of give you the expert play-by-play on Charizard EX. So smash that like button and let's jump into it. Okay, we're going to call the coin flip and let's hope that we win it. I think we lost the coin flip. I mean, I think Zard wants to go blind first nowadays. Dre, what do you think about Charizard going first for a second?
Yeah, I think we definitely want to blind first if we don't know the matchup. That's why we're playing the heavier count of Nest Ball, just to help us get set up to get ahead of the Evo decks. The only time you want to choose going second is if you know you're going against like a turbo deck like Raging Bull or something that can donk you, just so you can have an option for an Arven to get really set up so they don't donk. You don't go Charmander pass and lose.
Gotcha. We're playing against a really interesting deck here. The grass type Gardenia, we are weak to grass, so while it might not necessarily be as normal as a deck as otherwise, we might have to put our thinking caps on here and see exactly what our opponent flips up.
Yeah, playing around weakness is always really, really tough.
Fungus okay. Diplin.
Yeah.
I don't even know. Like,
yeah, Moongus that like discards things from your hand, right?
You're asking me. I mean, I think these are great situations where you can use Dusknoir properly. Like, I think like definitely. A lot of people look at it and they're like, yeah, I don't want to play against this like weak deck or anything else like that. Like, I mean, there's type advantage, there's things there. Just kind of jumping in here, Buddy Poffin. I want to search through the deck, see exactly what we got prized.
Yeah, this hand's kind of insane.
Yeah, having double Buddy Poffin absolutely flames. And I think like you always want to go for like double, like not to say you always want to go for double Charmander, but you want to make sure that one is there, one is protected. Sometimes you need to protect another one with Manaphy. Sometimes you might need a third one if your opponent can Dusknoir them off the face of the planet. So considering that I think our opponent's only going to be knocking out our active Pokemon or maybe one bench Pokemon, I think going double Charmander here makes the most sense off the rip.
Yeah, I think that's correct. I think actually here with the second Poffin, I mean, we're obviously going to grab Pidgey to set up our search engine with Pidgey app. I think putting another Duskull down just to have the aggression to maybe, if they don't get that apple evolved, then we can KO an apple and then KO active. Or if they take the KO next turn, then we can maybe KO active and the benched Amoonguss or Fungus.
That makes a lot of sense to me. Because I'm like, yeah, let's just take advantage of these situations. Maybe we could just like win the game. They are both weak to fire as well, so even though like our last Pokemon's weak to grass, something to consider is that maybe even pre-attaching an energy to a Charmander might be worthwhile, because steady fire breathing might be steady up on these Pokemon. I want to play Arven here too. I think Arven, I'm thinking Nest Ball for Rotom and then Forest Sealstone.
Yeah, I think, dude, I didn't get to double check. Do we have the Rotom? Just want to make sure we double check the prizes.
Yeah, I think I double checked through it and saw it. Yeah, so we're chilling on the Rotom. We did prize Cleffa, and there's no Lumineon. So I think this just makes the default best choice. And the big like question that comes down to it a lot of the times is should you pre-attach the Forest Sealstone or not? I think a lot of these like evolution based decks that we might run into, they might only play like one Lost Vacuum, so I'm actually like willing to pre-attach it where they might have more Ionos.
Right. I think this deck might be more reliant on Arven, so I think putting the Sealstone down is fine, especially because our hand is pretty good. We have double Rare Candy already, so if this instant charge gets us like an Arven or Pidgeot, we're just cooking anyways.
And I'm gonna pre-attach the Charmander too, because there is a situation where I can go Rare Candy, Dusknoir, Fire Energy, Knockout, double Knockout. Because I don't think the energy necessarily matters as long as it's on a Charmander. And yeah, I'll kick instant charge, not Star Alchemy. I feel like PTCG Live has some troubles to play sometimes. Oh, those were some sick cards off that.
Oh, perfect.
This is the reason why this deck is a top 2 played deck in format. Definitely a top contender at regionals. Just like all the options you have here.
Yeah, we can go Candy Pidgeot, Candy Dusknoir, Candy Zard next turn, as long as our hand doesn't change. Oh yeah, and playing Gardenias, we're probably big chilling.
Yeah, they're gonna draw 2 cards, and I mean, unless they, even if they go double evolve, I don't even think like they have anything. I mean, Hydrapple might be spooky if they can get a Hydrapple EX, right? Because that's the one that evolves from Applin.
Yeah, I think if we can just candy Dusknoir and swing with a Zard into, like, we might as well put the Dusknoir damage on the Hydrapple EX if it comes into play.
I actually think there's a world where we actually
Yeah.
win the game otherwise, by going knockout, knockout, knockout. I think we actually can board wipe our opponent here.
Yeah, I think so too.
Because I mean, we have Rare Candy Dusknoir, Rare Candy Charizard. So we just need, if we have Rare Candy Night Stretcher, I think that, right? I think that's like, I mean, either way, we're playing Arven, we're not playing Iono. So
Right.
this is where it always like helps, like, oh, we don't have Night Stretcher, but we do have Super Rod. So Super Rod can we Super Rod Ultra Ball? We could get Night Stretcher off of our prize cards. So this is like,
I think we play towards the prize cards first.
So
I think grabbing the Rare Candy is safe here, because even if we don't pull the Night Stretcher, we could potentially get Pidgeot.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. And there's no other tool cards here, so we're just using it to search for an item card. Okay, so let's go, before we do anything else. Oh, we could have also just, we're literally overthinking it, Dre. We have Dusclops, right? Dusclops, they have 50 HP. They have 40 HP, so we can knock out all three no matter what happens. So I mean, I think what we do, we just leave, we'll probably pop the Applin on the bench because that has triple energies.
Right.
So let's go Rare Candy into Dusknoir first.
Yeah.
Because we want to, like, before we go into Charizard, we want to know exactly like what we're dealing with, kind of. And let's go Curse Blast, ripping that Pokemon to shreds. If we get Night Stretcher, we just have game in hand, but I think we also just have game in hand if we can get a good Dusclops out.
Yeah, we have 4 Steel Stone available, so
exactly. So we're just waiting to see exactly what's going on with this situation. We're just gonna rip Night Stretcher. It's middle prize card. No, it's Defiance Band. Dang, rip.
All good.
There's Charmander. Let's go ahead. I'm just gonna double check. Like sometimes, like when it doesn't matter with situations like this, you could double check with like a Buddy Poffin. So sometimes you could use a free search. There's the Dusclops that we have in our deck. So what we're gonna do here is go, not pressing instant charge. We're gonna hit Star Alchemy, the 4 Steel Stone, and then we're gonna go pop. So like, even though we offered our opponent up 2 prize cards, we are increasing our damage for Charizard, and we found a creative way by using those double Duskulls to rip off our opponent's little Pokemon. So when in doubt, try not to have 50 HP Pokemon in your deck. That's one of the biggest problems in our format right now.
Yeah, not even having to use a Rare Candy to get a KO is pretty OP right now. So 50 HP, if you can help it, keep those out of your deck. If there's a 60 or 70 HP mon, you need to be starting those basics.
It would have been crazy if we needed the Charizard there to get the last attack. But yeah, no, we're I feel so bad for Luca Berry. They're probably just like grinding early ladder. We're just gonna take the knockout there.
Yeah.
I mean, I think it's one of those things where we could have we went for the Night Stretcher play. It might have actually been better for us to go for, I don't know if it would have been better to go Dusknoir or not first before playing Arven. Could have potentially opened up opportunities. I'm kind of like reviewing like our gameplay there. But other than that, like, I mean, usually there's multiple ways to get to the end. So it's kind of like if you stumble ever time in a game, our opponent doesn't know that we were trying to go for a Night Stretcher play, but then we changed it up for Dusclops and got to the same results anyway. So don't panic if it's not necessarily there. You just gotta kind of have to pivot when it comes down to it.
Yeah, that's what this deck allows a lot of players to do, is it allows you to be reactive a lot of times, which is whether it's you whiffing off of Fezandipiti or maybe you misstepping because you saw one line of play and you didn't see the second one. This deck gives you so many options, and it allows you to recover probably a lot more than any other deck. Like a lot of the turbo decks or something like that, you miss a step, you're missing your KO, and you probably lose.
Well, and the other thing too is we went turn 2 drawing 4 prize cards. Like, I think that's something that should just be like noted in general, where it's just like, I think it's incredible how strong this deck can be.
Right.
And maybe it's just because we're powered up by Advanced GG. I will shamelessly plug any sponsor that helps out the Shuffle Squad. So I know that Dre and I both really like the product here. If you want to be cool like Dre and Zach, Advanced GG, you can use code TSSWIN, save 10% off. They have energy, hydration, and focus supplements alongside with some cool shakers. So if you're of age, if not, ask your parents to see, or ask your doctor or whatever to see if it's the right product for you. But I love this stuff. I think it's fantastic.
I like it too. You get that really good focus and energy boost without the like itchiness and stimulants, which is really good. So like it's pretty like safe and feels good.
I also have won 3 League Cups off of Advanced GG. Maybe I'm good at Pokemon, maybe I'm not, but maybe that can help you get through that last little bit of grogginess through those long days.
I also have a 3 cup wins off of Advanced GG.
Advanced GG got 6 cup wins. Some people can't even get that lifetime, so we up there. We're gonna jump into another game, see exactly what we have. Maybe we won't run into a Fungus deck, but I mean, some cool Charizard gameplay that really showed the Dusknoir, Dusclops, and Charizard Arven sequencing. So let's see if we can get a little bit of a different kind of game going into this one. Okay, looks like we're calling the coin flip. Do you want to go first? Yes. Wait, why is it like, why did it ask me if I want to go first and then it shows the coin flip?
Yeah, sometimes it glitches out like that. You won the coin flip. It just like did it out of order for some reason.
Oh, okay, gotcha.
But yeah, you won the coin flip.
Okay, cool. That's fine. I'm whatever. We're going first. We want to. I think we went over it a little bit earlier, but we want to go first when it comes to playing this deck. And I'm glad we mullied because it's spooky sometimes. Starting with nothing. Interesting. This is a hand of all time. I think we start with what? Do you think we start with Pidge or do you think we start with the Dippity?
I think if we're going first, we always want to start a single prizer.
Yeah, that's kind of what I'm thinking too. And the other thing about going first, if you play against like that cloth deck, they're not going to like poison knock you out. We have an opportunity to get set up here. I'm kind of thinking of going Rotom 4 Sealstone, Buddy Poffin, getting double Charmander, then getting set up.
Yeah, I think that's correct. We see what we top deck, but yeah, I think that's probably the right line to play.
Gotcha. And I'm not sure which Pokemon we want to discard, or like which cards we want to discard. We'll see, however.
Super out in the hand kind of makes me want to just get rid of Fez and Energy off the rip. It's a mirror match, so.
The Charizard's so hot too, right? Like.
Yeah, I think Fez and Fire Energy being the discards is fine because we have Super Rod.
Yeah, that makes the most sense for me, and we really have to hope here that like we have it. Okay, phew. Okay.
Yeah, thank God.
And I mean, we should also double check too, like that we have Buddy Poff in the deck. I know we have like 4 of those guys, but like we did have 1 prize, so it is something to consider. We did prize a Fire Energy as well, so something to consider. You want to keep track of some of your resources as the game goes on. We know that our opponent also can attack us on this upcoming turn because we're playing a Zard Mirror. I don't know if that like affects the way that we should like approach the situation.
I think theoretically we could just go Poffin for Mander and Skull if we want to put on aggression, but because our hand is pretty weak, I'm not sure how we're really going to get to that stage anyways. It would be carried off the Rotom draw. I think we really just want to primarily like focus on making sure we get Candy Pidgeot, Candy Zard, right?
Yeah,
so
yeah.
I like the Poffin for 1 Mander, 1 Skull because we can't get KO'd. So I think we can like play towards it.
That's exactly kind of what I'm thinking of. Charmander, Skull. We don't need Manaphy this matchup. We already have a Pidge, and we already kind of went through. They can't do anything, so we're gonna go for that. And we really need to hope that off of our Rotom that we could draw anything, or our opponent Ionos us. Those are some pretty whack cards for what it's worth.
Yeah, it's unfortunate.
I mean, we still have our top deck for turn, right? Like, we're 1 Rare Candy away from daisy chaining Rare Candy, Pidgeot, Rare Candy, Charizard. Oh, our opponent just has nothing.
Wow, drop pass. Oh, that's not good. But because they did nothing, man, we just... I hate this because I really want to get the Pidgey out of the active, but there's no way for us to do that.
There's no way for us to do it. Maybe we could Thorton into something if we have that as an opportunity, but, like, we don't even have the Rare Candy to make anything happen. Like, we could retreat into Duskull and then try to put ourselves like in a whatever. Like, I don't think there's anything that we can do. If we have a Rare Candy next turn, I think that's fine. So we'll just go instant charge. See, like, I'm not sure like how bad our opponent hand is. We do have game in hand for next turn. If our opponent just goes pass again.
Okay, so they have Zard. So we essentially could probably win this game too now if we can like top deck another. If they don't have any other Pokemon down and they just swing, we can Candy Dusknoir Candy. Oh wait.
Okay.
Okay.
Game got
Definitely
a little bit spookier. This is actually like kind of interesting. Like, it's kind of like for us, it's kind of like the mid offs, but like, they've taken 1 prize card, so using Dusclops here doesn't help, right?
Right. I think we still promote
210, 260, 290 because I'm thinking with Defiance. I think we promote Pidgey because no matter what, we're gonna Pidgeot up, right?
Yeah, minimum we'll have Pidgeot. Okay, Poffin.
That doesn't help us.
I think going for the Nest Ball Fez is probably the correct play.
We could go also like, yeah, Nest Ball Fez does make a lot of sense. So let's go Super Rod, get those back in because we did put those away.
I'll keep Mander in the deck.
Oh yeah, because we can't literally. I got way too ahead of myself. So the play that we were going for was a Thorton play with the Charmander in the deck. We don't have it, so let's see if we get punished for it. That's my bad, Dre. I'm just clicking way too fast on PTCG Live.
It's all good. I think we can still probably draw out of this.
Yeah,
the Unfair Stamp is going to be really brutal for them here too.
Okay, so I guess the biggest thing here, what we have right now is the Dippity. Like, since Thornton's no longer a play unless we got Ultra Ball, I think we just go ahead and we go Charmandered up, right?
I agree.
Okay. Charmandering it up. There's double Charmander. We're gonna go ahead and since we're using Unfair Stamp, I actually think that we use Fezandipiti after the fact now.
Yeah.
So let's go Arven, and we're just gonna get set up with Rare Candy into Pidge. Our opponent,
we evolve the Dusclops too.
Yeah, I think we evolved the Dusclops. That sounds fair. We could also even I'm also down to put Defiance onto the Charmander. I don't think it's gonna hurt us too much.
No, I think that's fine.
So let's go this, and let's go ahead and we're gonna use Unfair Stamp before we use Pidgeot.
Right.
Okay, so we don't really gain anything that we can attack with. Part of me wants to almost keep Pidge in the active, but let's use Fezandipiti first before we do anything else.
Right.
Those are some solid cards. We cannot attack with Radiant Charizard. I think what I want to do here, since we already have the Ultra Ball, I want to just search my deck for probably a Rare Candy.
Yeah.
So we're setting ourselves up for next turn.
Yeah, we could wipe their Zard off the board and win if they can't get anything benched here. So I think keeping the Pidgeot here and not giving up any prize cards is probably fine too. I think keeping it in the active is fine.
The other thing that I'm worried about is later on in the game, is that something that can get us with a Dusknoir back?
Yeah.
I think it's fine. We can always Turo this Pokemon if we want. Them not taking a prize card, we can force a prize card with Dusknoir. And then we've already gone through our Fezandipiti. We're going to use Pidgeot. We already used Pidgeot. We don't need to attach to our turn now. Dusclops, we don't want to activate. So let's just go instant charge. And our plan next turn is to go Dusknoir, Rare Candy Charizard, Knockout. And everything's there in our hand. And we just put our opponent's hand down to 2 cards, 2 with Unfair Stamp.
Yeah, so see what they play. If they don't have anything to play and they just swing... Okay, they have Iono. That's annoying.
Yeah, the Ionos... Because we were sitting on all the good cards there. Those are actually some pretty bad cards. Yeah. I don't even know how bad, that's about as bad as it can get. Dang, man.
Okay, so we're living off the top deck again.
Okay,
Dusknoir's not bad.
But that doesn't
see. What can we do to get?
I think we have to go for Iono, right? I don't think there's another play. Because
I think we put the Dusknoir and then just search for Iono, try to find
I was also thinking if we pop Dusknoir and we go for knockout Duskull, maybe we can go top deck something out of our prize cards, go for a Thornton play, but I don't think it gets us there.
No, I think we want to just Iono here and hope that we can get Candy Zard, and if we can...
I'm also going to slap on an energy on Charmander in case anything else gets shuffled up.
Yeah.
Okay, let's go quick search. Yeah, it would have been nice if we just had any piece, we could have searched for the other piece. I mean, I guess we could also search for Lumineon, but we already used Forest Seal Stone, so that doesn't get us all the pieces at all either. And we don't have any pieces in our discard pile because we could have grabbed maybe Arven. Yeah, it doesn't matter. So yeah, we're just gonna grab the Iono. We're not winning the game this turn, or we can't win the game this turn.
We can't take their only Zard out potentially if we just get Candy Zard though. That's kind of the big reward if we can get Candy Zard here. Okay, we didn't get there.
Did not get there. Okay.
Hmm.
Okay, we can't leave Pidgeot up active anymore.
No.
I'm
If we
do you think we go
the-
counter catcher the Duskull at all?
We force them to have to manually retreat or pop that. Yeah, I think we just have to be more annoying at this point. I think counter catching, bringing it up. They can't KO our Pidgeot with Clops. They need Candy Dusknoir.
Yeah, so I think we just have to retreat into a Charmander and hope, right?
Yeah, I think going to the Mander and then instant charging.
And we're gonna go to the Mander without the energy, and then I don't want to play Collapse Stadium because I want to just try to draw cards off of instant charge, and then we'll reevaluate the board next turn. Okay, there's all the cards we were looking for.
Yeah,
I feel like this is kind of a game where, like, outside of that one like Fezandipiti Thorton kind of mishap, I think this is kind of a game where like Charizard all goes wrong, so it's cool to like kind of claw back.
right.
Them playing this Pidgey also might be a huge mistake. Again, 50 HP, like that's a liability for Dusclops. Okay, at least we have answers here for like Arven. Like we could pop some of our opponent's Pokemon off this board. I hope that our opponent's not going to go for Dusknoir, knock out our Pidgeot, then knock out our active, take a 3 prize card turn. Oh, Dre, we might be fried here. Maybe we won't be, right? Like I think there's still like
I don't think so. They take this Dusknoir KO. They take 2 prize cards, go down to 3. They take 1, go down to 2. We have a Defiance Band Mander that's going to Candy Zard, Oko their Charizard. And if we Dusknoir KO their Mander, they have no answer. They go down to 1 prize card and have no answer.
Yeah.
So I actually think we can wipe their Zard and their Mander off the field here. And then they'll have 2 cards, 3 cards to work with. And they'll have only a Pidge.
And we also have Dippity too. So there's some options.
I think they might actually be kind of cooked here.
So we'll see. Maybe they're gonna have another Charmander.
Okay, okay,
and they got a Buddy Poffin. Bro, calm down, chill out.
Now we have to see what their 1 card in hand is, because if it's anything that they can actually play.
It's probably not a rare candy because they would have gone for like elsewhere to go rare candy and then search for something else for Pidgeot. So they might just be like grasping at straws here. Yeah, let's go Mander goes here.
Right.
Because we have to, like, Charizard 330 HP, big chillin'. Us getting Pidgey, I don't think it matters if we put... I mean, no. I think this is a case where I want to get Iono if I possibly can, but I don't know if it actually matters if we get Iono. I'm, like, half, like, looking at our discard pile. There's nothing here that we want to actually put back into our hands. Because if our opponent knocks out a Charizard, we're just kind of cooked anyways. So I think, like, when we look through our deck, I think playing Nest Ball is more than fair. I don't think we're going to go for another Dusknoir. I don't think there's anything else that I actually want to put down. I just wanted to kind of see exactly, like, what we're dealing with. Because I think I'm just trying to thin through a lot of this. That could have been a card that we could have discarded, but I think we still have...
I need a deck search.
We still have the Iono in our deck.
So ideally, if we can draw the Iono off the Fezandipiti, we Dusknoir KO one of the Manders.
Yeah, because I also want to just go Ultra Ball here. We'd have to get Rare Candy as well. So let's go Ultra Ball. We have enough energies too, I think, right? Where it doesn't matter. So we can go Ultra Ball away. Buddy Poffin, and we need to discard one other card. I think the Fire Energy is probably the best because we're gonna probably play.
I don't think we're ever Pidgeying here, right? I think Pidgey might be the best.
Pidgey could be fine. I'm thinking that we could put Pidgey down because it doesn't matter. Like if they can knock out anything, they can knock out anything. So I was actually thinking about putting Pidge and Radiant Charizard down.
I think that's fine. We definitely want to put Radiant Charizard down
because we can always Super Rod back the Pidgeot later. Like, so we'll discard the Fire and the Buddy Poffin. I think that's fine. And then here we just want to grab Charizard because we don't want to grab Lumineon because we don't have the rare candy yet. So we're going to do that. Before we do Super Rod, we want to go Fezandipiti here first. So let's just go flip the script.
Okay, cool. Rare candy's awesome. So we're not gonna get the Iono playoff.
Yeah, I don't even think we go for the Dusknoir at this point then.
Because if we take the 2 here, we go down to 3. Yeah, I don't think we take the Dusknoir either. I think we can actually hang on to it.
Because we can actually maybe there's a Briar play next turn that we could do, pre-activate Briar. Exactly. I should have put Radiant Charizard down first, so I could have got the other energy. I don't think it's the end of the world when it comes down to, because I mean, if I'm attacking with Radiant Charizard, probably something happened to this Charizard EX.
Yeah, we lose.
I'm actually going to keep the Radiant Charizard in hands. I am going to Super Rod back in some of these things. Just grabbing a Pidgeot, a Fire Energy, maybe another Charmander is fine. Like, yeah. I think that seems completely fine. And I'm just going to go Arven because we might as well search for something else. And let's just go Arven, search for... I think Rare Candy here makes a lot of sense. I don't know if Counter Catcher does. And the other thing that we should note is we're getting the knockout because of the Defiance bands, so that's something cool to note. We don't want to put down the Dusknoir because we're not worried about that right now. So yeah, let's just go here. We're going to go 330. And I mean, our opponent, like, we didn't offer them a prize card with Dusknoir. So we're kind of like, we're in a position to win the game next turn with Dusknoir, draw 2 prize cards. We do have Rare Candy Ultra Ball, and we can... we actually, I think we're close to winning the game next turn if our opponent just goes, like, pass here.
Right. There's an Arven. So
but Arven means they can't use Counter Catcher, right? Like, they can't play boss now. So I'm looking at it where I don't think they actually win the game. Like, they go Rare Candy Zard, and they can attack into us, but then we win the game.
Right, because we're still behind on prizes, so we're still one-shotting the Zard. We just Candy Pidgeot, and we quick search Briar.
Yeah. Or we could just, we don't even need Briar at that point because we just go pop on the bench.
Right. Yeah.
So, I mean, I think we might actually, like, bring this game back from the depths, which is kind of crazy.
Yeah, we have multiple win cons, like, multiple ways to win. Like, if Briar's prize, then we can just pop Dusknoir. If, like... Okay, so there's a Candy Dust.
Shout out our opponent, though, for, like, holding on to everything, though. Like, I feel like... Like, I thought they might have misclicked the Charmander pass. And we were like, yeah, what a wild game. This is a cool game to look back in.
Yeah, the Charizard mirrors are very, very intricate. So it's really awesome to see how this one went back and forth. And we threatened the Dusknoir the entire game and didn't need it until it came to time to close out, which is pretty awesome.
So in this case, we have game on board, right? Because we can pop 1 prize card, our opponent takes a prize card, and then we're hitting for 360, right?
Right, exactly.
So we don't even need anything else, but we could have searched out for Pidgeot and got it back out if we really needed, like, a boss's orders, a Briar, because we could have even won this game if we were at 4 prize cards left. But we're going to just pitch off that Charmander. They're knocked out. Even if we didn't have Dusknoir and we just had Dusclops, we could have knocked out the Pidgey. And then we're just going to knock out our opponent's active for 360. So, yeah, I think through kind of some smart plays there, we were able to kind of take control back over that game. That was sick.
Yeah, the main thing with Charizard is that a lot of people need to remember is that it is a come from behind deck. As aggressive as it is, like, its whole attack cranking up as your opponent takes prize cards, running the Defiance bands, having the Thorton, like, all those cards are in there because this is, like, the best come from behind deck, as well as, like, one of the strongest and powerful decks in the format right now.
Well, you also saw, like, we won the game in 2 effective attacks. Like, our opponent gave us a prize card from Dusknoir. We went attack, Dusknoir ourselves, and then attack, right? So when you can draw half your prize cards per attack on average, that's crazy. And I think, like, again, just scaling that damage, like, we were behind and we actually started doing more damage than our opponent was. Really, like, leading a lot to Charizard EX's success. So we'll jump back into the deck list. I'm sure Jay and I have some closing thoughts here over the deck in general, but some sick gameplay, and yeah, Charizard is just a sick deck. So yeah, Charizard, a lot of really cool gameplay that we did. We were able to utilize Infernal Rain, Burning Darkness, scaling our damage, using damage modifiers with Dusknoir, Dusclops, and Defiance. We were able to use Counter Catcher effectively. We were able to Pidgeot search through things. Rotom, Forest Seal Stone, Lumineons, Fezandipitis. I think we pretty much did everything we possibly could, except Radiant Charizard, but that's not going to come out every single game. What do you think about some of the gameplay we did, Dre?
Yeah, I think a lot of it, like you said, covered pretty much all of the main like milestones in the deck. Even like when we were talking about Radiant Charizard, it could have been useful in certain situations, but we just decided it didn't need to be used. But like that's one of the great things about this deck is that there are so many options that you can weigh and pivot into. Like even if we didn't have that Dusknoir on that closing play of the mirror match, because we had 3 prizes and they had 2, we could have Briared for the game if we really needed to. Candy Pidgeot Briar was another option that we had, but we didn't have to use, right? So just the like pure like options of this deck, just the way it can just pivot on a dime, is kind of the things that we touched on earlier that is making this deck really, really great. Is that if you're a player that can adjust on the fly, this deck is gonna definitely help you, express your skill.
Yeah, 1000%. And I mean, it's super well positioned in the metagame. Has a lot of strong matchups. So if you're looking for a deck to kind of pick up, this is great. There's also that new League Battle deck that just dropped that has like 90% of the cards here. So if you're new to the game, you could probably pick up this deck for like $20 at your local game store for the most part. And have a tier 1 deck. Maybe pick up a couple Shrouded Fable boosters and get your Dusknoirs. But that's basically the deck in a nutshell. So, I mean, again, Dre, I really appreciate you doing this kind of ultimate guide to Charizard for Surging Sparks. For me, I do a lot of videos, so if anyone's trying to hit me up in the description on my Manaphy or anything else like that. Dre, where can people learn about you? Where can they hit you up?
Yeah, definitely follow. You can find me on Twitter at KingDreC1out, C1OUT for clout. I definitely have a Manaphy link in my bio there. Check the description below just to find all my information. Appreciate you having me, Zach. Huge shout out to TSS, all of our sponsors, and I'll let you take it.
100%. Yeah, no, I'll make sure that all of Dre's information's in there. So if you're trying to get a Charizard expert for some coaching, Dre is definitely one of the best Charizard players in the game. Super chill dude, and definitely one of the homies. So check out all their stuff, see exactly what's going on. I know they stream, they do everything, they play at regionals. We're both going to be going to the European International Championships. We both got the top 32 NA for that, so we got the priority reg. So if anyone's going out there, we'll all see you out there. But stay tuned for more great content from the Shuffle Squad. We got these new ultimate guides going on. We have tabletop gameplay. We have Pokemon news, top 10 decks, meta updates from regionals. You name it, we basically have it all. So if you're looking for an ultimate stop to kind of learn more about the Pokemon TCG or just stay in it, this is a great place. Again, smash that like button. Let us know in the comments below what's up. But until then, we'll catch up with all y'all next time. Thanks so much for watching and have a great one. Want to support the Shuffle Squad? Be sure to check out all of our sponsors in the description to pick up Pokemon TCG singles, sealed, and PTCG live codes. You made it to the end. Thank you so much for watching this entire video from the Shuffle Squad. Honestly, from the bottom of our hearts, we appreciate each and every person that supports our content, watches what we have going on every single day, every single week, even from time to time, and continuously allows us to have a forum to project our creative content towards the Pokemon TCG community. So if you haven't already, be sure to give this video a like, subscribe to the channel, and even leave a comment to help boost the YouTube algorithm. That being said, we'll catch you with our next video. Thanks again. Take it easy.